Welcome to the Mole Confidential, Season 4, Episode 1.
All right, we are back in your favorite behind the scenes show, or at least we hope, Mole
Yay!
Confidential, Season 4. Aren't you guys all happy that the Mole is in Season 4?
Yes! It's brilliant.
The people keep saying, I waited ages for Mole Season 4. I waited ages. Well, it's here. And we are here at the lovely Dude Ranch, the Mole Dude Ranch. So we're going to jump right into some of the stuff that's come from your comments, and Piper has one related to that.
I just want to say that we've been loving reading the comments and keep those theories coming. We enjoy reading them and see what you guys are thinking of the season.
So, first off, let's talk about a subject that came up, mentioned by a few people, the age of the players. I think some people were worried that there was no young players in the game, and then some people were upset because of some of those weird ages that a couple players had. So, just to kind of address the latter one first, we've allowed people in the seasons to be a little creative with their jobs and their ages. Just because originally my thought was some people don't want to reveal their exact age, or maybe they're a little shy. It's been taken to some extremes. I seem to remember in a Time Lord being quite old at one point. And then this year we had two players who have kind of ages that are obviously fake. And Leo way back was he like a basketball player, 99 years old or something like that,
Yeah.
from the Philippines, which is not even correct at either thing. So in the future, we might force people to put legitimate like job titles, be it if it's a student, be it if it's whatever, and then ages be at least in the ballpark. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I think the ages definitely should have a somewhat more realistic point to them, and the job things more realistically. Probably not exact things, but probably definitely more realistic, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Leo especially, he wanted to keep his location and age and stuff private, which is perfectly okay. But as long as it's in, the ballpark and it's kind of realistic, then I think, yeah.
Basketball ballpark.
Oh, I
Very
didn't
good.
mean to do that.
Well, we've always kind of just went with country too. We don't want to go specific like
Yeah.
cities or anything like that. We've always tried to keep it very generic. So that will probably change in season 5. We'll probably be a little bit more stringent on what people say for those things. Now, as for the age of the players, really the biggest reason for the players being basically 18 and older, except I think one player is actually underneath that, but he has a
Yeah.
fake age, so is the time. We record the Mole every Saturday, and for people who are here in the States, it's not maybe as bad because I record 3 o'clock my time, which is noon on Saturday on the West Coast. But for people who are in Europe, and we try to have a mix of players, it is much later. It's 8 p.m. for them when we start, or 9 p.m. or even possibly later, depending on their time zones. And we record for 4 or 5 hours every Saturday. Traditionally, the problem we've seen when we live stream or when we do online events is kids obviously are kids. Parents tell them, hey, it's time for bed. You have to go somewhere with us. You can't stay home by yourself or whatever. And we can't have a recording session start that's supposed to be 2 episodes, 5 hours long or whatever to get all of it done, and then have a player say, well, I got to go. It just totally destroys the whole ability to get it recorded in a timely manner. So we need players that are generally of an adult age because they can at least commit to staying there. And even that's trouble. I mean, we had players this year who we had signed up to play who dropped out because of time commitments.
Yeah.
So it is very tough. So it's really going to be very difficult for us to do the Mole with very young players. And I know a lot of you guys would like to. It's just very, very, very hard. And we see it constantly on the live streams when we start doing a battle and somebody just leaves because they have to go to bed or they have to go. And then we have to give that person a bye that say fights them in a Netherdome tournament or whatever. Or we set up open servers and people sign up for them and then well, I just can't stay up that late. And then we're like, well, why did you sign up for that time? It's a mess. So The mole is a very important thing to us, and we try to organize it as best we can, but the time commitments are so, so tough. And for us in general, too. But that's why. So, Piper, you have another one.
Yeah, quite a lot of people were asking about the process of the mole and how we do it and what we do. So I'm going to try and give a very brief explanation of what exactly the process is. Um, I think we started the process before Christmas in 2013 for season 4, and that was a video that went up of people to apply for the mole. And then in the crew, we decided who was going to play in the mole season 4, and we also decided who was going to help. We tried to keep the numbers limited for the helpers, so this year it was Mario and Piper, myself, who were helping Bubbles. Um, so that went up, people applied, and then we went through all the applications and came up with a short list of people that we wanted to interview. The interviews came and went very quickly. It felt like it was, we had, oh gosh, was it 20 to 30 people we interviewed? And we were finding out how, what they liked about the mole, what they thought about previous seasons, how they think they could handle playing in the mole, being a player, that kind of thing. And also we were trying to find out their audio quality and things like that, because we tried to make it as easy for Belbuzz to edit, and we want crystal clear quality sound. And then from those people that we selected, we then had an open party for the players and the alternates. Um, and then we started filming. I think that pretty much sums it up unless I've missed out something. And another note just to add, we had almost 500 applications this year. I think the number was 495, something like that.
Yeah. So, we give people plenty of time. We'll put up a video, so make sure you subscribe and keep an eye on the channel. But next year, or late this year, we'll probably put up a video that says, hey, time to apply. And we'll give people 2 to 3 months to apply. And then we'll start the interview process and blah, blah, blah. And then start the recording sessions and try to come back again. So let's move on. The next thing I think some people talked about was the theme. They liked the theme. And we kind of wanted, when I first started talking with Mario and Piper, I was like, what about in the Old West, like a Wild West type theme? What about a Dude Ranch? And I think Mario predominantly built the Dude Ranch.
Oh, no, 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 Piper did.
I thought he was like the main guy, and then you came in and helped.
Nope, nope. I did the whole structure and everything in the windows, and Mary came in and did these bits here, but I did all the gardens and the outside and the actual structure.
All right, well, correct me for that then. So Piper,
I
Piper is to blame.
want credit. I want credit.
Oh no, I was getting ready to blame him.
Oh, oh,
I'm just kidding. So,
planning.
I wanted a Wild West theme. Last year, when they were working on the mansion, I wanted kind of a darker theme, a scarier theme, and I think Gizmo took the lead on the mansion last year, unless I messed that up.
Yeah.
So, we got the Dude Ranch theme, and we kind of wanted to have some of the challenges, maybe have kind of a Wild West theme to them at times. So I think it turned out well. It was a totally different environment. So literally, it was just when we first started talking, like, what are we going to do? I just suggested Wild West, and Piper and Mario seemed to like it.
Yeah, we loved it. And the setting sun as well. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I wanted to have the sun lower so it was more like a really, pretty sunset. But the problem with that is if you look right now, you can kind of see a little bit of lighting change when the sun bounces back up. And it was very noticeable if I let the sun get further down. And it would have annoyed the recording seeing the light flash so dramatically at times. I don't know if there's a better plug-in for Bucket to force the sun to a certain pattern and not move at all. If there is, let me know in the comments because I'd love to try something like that out in a future season and in future stuff we do.
Can I also just add the way I reacted then? It sounds like Mario didn't do much. He helped me a lot, and he did most of the outside stuff here as well, the path going down and the little bits over here, the stand here, and also the horse. So just in case that came out completely wrong, Mario did, help quite a bit.
Now we'll show some more behind the scenes stuff in future episodes of the mansion, the gate system, the keeping the sun moving. I don't want to show everything right now. We want to kind of sprinkle some of that stuff throughout the season.
Yeah.
So another thing that people had noticed was that they were saying that quiz questions are, and this happens every season, quiz questions are limiting who is the mole. And that's not true. The problem is, one of the questions I think in the first episode was related to the diamond count that each pair did in the library challenge. So like, team one, how many diamonds did they get as a pair? When the players took the quiz question, there were more numbers. But what happens is when I edit this, I take our quiz questions, I copy and paste the questions and answers into a little script file that I wrote that parses it and converts it into what shows you that fake looking computer terminal that the questions pop up on. Last season, I used a bigger font, and it limited the number of lines I could show. It was usually enough, but that question had a lot of answers. So in the confidential, for the quiz questions there, it cut off some of the bottom answers. And I didn't notice it until after I had already rendered it, and I was just like, it's 4 in the morning. I got to get this thing up. So I went ahead and uploaded it. But don't think that just because you thought there was answers that weren't there, tell you who may or may not be the mole. Do not go with that, because it would be a false assumption. Because that literally the question that the players took had all the answers, the ranges, but the one you saw on the fake terminal didn't. Usually the first episode's the hardest for me to edit because I have to get back into it and get everything prepared. Hopefully future episodes I won't miss things. But that was my fault. But it's not an indication of who or who isn't the mole. Kind of on those same questions, some people thought that because they only heard from 9 players during the quiz, that it meant that one player would be the mole. And again, that is an incorrect assumption. I've explained this to some people before and they get confused. But let's say there's only 2 quiz questions. Because there's 2 questions, there's only a spot in the middle to put one person's thoughts. When there's 10 questions, there's 9 slots to put people's comments about who they think is the mole. But there's 10 players. So I had to leave one person out. And it was literally kind of a random choice. Now, for the next episode that you'll see coming up this coming Friday, we have 9 players left. So all 9 will be heard. After that episode, there will only be 8 players to hear from, in which case there'll actually be like a spot where since there's no one giving their feedback because I only need 8, you'll hear like me say question number 5, blah, 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 question number 6, blah, 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 blah. Then you'll hear somebody comment. So there'll be some empty spots the less amount of players there are. I don't know if that makes sense, but there was only room for 9 comments, so one player had to be left out. But it was a completely random choice. So this is challenge number 1, Cowboys and Parkour Aliens. Now, Mario built this. Sadly, he is not here right now. So I always liked starting off with a parkour challenge.
Yeah.
Now, these are NPCs that you see here. Notch is not visiting. They are here just because when we recorded the intro, we used fake players and some NPCs to make it look like people were playing the game. But I didn't want the intro to show the current players, and I didn't want to have anything that could spoil something for you. So I went with the first challenge for the intro and fake players, and I'll use that intro throughout the whole season. So, Mario volunteered to do this one. I just told him, hey, I want parkour because people always freak out in the first episode. They're all nervous. Parkour is a great, icebreaker. And he started building it, and as he was working on it, he was like, can I do Cowboys and Aliens? He wanted to mix the aliens in. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. And that was kind of the funny thing about this challenge is after they ran it and the players went down, they could see that they were actually up on a spaceship.
And when we were testing it out, I had no idea. I got like to the end of it and came down. I was like, why is it going underground? What? It's a very good illusion.
So, Mario built this one. It worked out well. It was a fun challenge to watch the players play and everything. And it had some easy parts and had some harder parts. And I think it worked out well. And then the drop off to the down below to see the fact that you were on an alien ship. Hopefully, players enjoyed that. I don't know you guys seeing it for the first time when you played if it made anything, if you liked it or you didn't like it.
I
Yeah,
thought it was amazing.
it was a massive surprise because you think, oh, it's just an area that you've just built in, and then you go down that, and
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, okay, that's different.
Because from this height, you don't actually see
Yeah,
like outside. And then when you go to like on the wall, you see bits of it, but it just looks like it's in the distance. I just couldn't believe it. It was such a good illusion.
So now this challenge, guess who made a challenge called the library?
I wonder. It was me. But they do actually do a challenge like this on the show. So I got that from the show.
So I mean, you could see this was a big library with a lot of room to it, and the players had to really cover a lot of ground.
There is actually a fun little fact. If you come, oh, I'm gonna lose it now. Um, there is a little bit. Where is it? It was gonna be even harder than what it actually was in the end. I've completely lost it now. But oh, it might be. Is it here? Yeah, here. Oh, let me take those. Upstairs, there's another level that we decided it would be just insane, and the entrance was slightly hidden as well. It would have been made it just even harder, I think, the challenge. But yeah, so there's a roof area too.
What?
So here you see what's coming up in one of the challenges in our next episode. What could it be?
What could it be?
hmm.
All right, so here we are at the first player eliminated from season 4 of The Mole, George the Jedi. Let's go and see if the mole left anything in here. Ooh, mole always loving to taunt. Obviously, the force was not strong with this one.
Oh,
So, George, somebody had to be first, and it was you.
it's always a curse, isn't it, if you're the first player eliminated?
I was just going to say, yeah, it is. I mean, I was obviously first out in season 2, and it was pretty like it was a sad feeling at first, but then I kind of had a good feeling that I was actually involved in it. So it's still great to be involved. So definitely is a bit of a kick.
All right, so while we're here in the room of sadness, here in George's room, we'll mention real quickly the survey, which is where you guys are voting on who you think is the mole. We don't reveal that until the next episode because you're still voting on who you think is the mole after the first episode. So until the second episode airs and we have that quiz up and then we disable the other one, you're going to be able to keep voting. So next week we'll reveal who you think is the mole going into the second episode. But no reveal of the quiz until next week. Okay. So
Yay!
last and certainly not least, one of those favorite moments for you guys throughout confidentials. Take it away, Giz.
The mole comment of the week.
So the comment of this week comes from Being Me 100, and they say,
This season is going to be amazing. Such a great cast of players. Now it's time to figure out who is the mole.
Yep, that sums it up. So we're really, really excited about this season starting. We know we've had a lot of great comments, and we loved all the comments, and a lot of people are very excited about it. So we can't wait to see this season play out. And hopefully you guys are paying close attention. Take notes yourselves, even as viewers. Make notes of who you think is mole. Also, very good first episode. Post your comments who you think is the mole. Because I don't know how many times people try to tell me, oh, I knew who it was after the first season or the first episode.
Yeah.
But they never say it until it's all over. Lock your comments in now before the next episodes air. Not like 6 weeks from now, 7, 8 weeks or whatever, when it's all over. Go back to the first episode and post who you think it is. No, 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 no. I know there's going to be people who won't watch it when it first comes out. But all you diehard fans, post in this episode, the first episode, or even in this confidential, who you think is the mole. Do it now. So that way when you come back saying you knew it from the beginning, we can verify it. But with that, that ends episode 1 from season 4 of Mole Confidential. So if you guys want to say goodbye, we will return after this Friday's episode of The Mole.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.